Hey everyone, it's Amanda here, and I'm excited to offer you a restorative practice today from the comfort of your home. First off, I want to say how much I miss all of you, all of the Bending Bodhi crew, all the students, and I hope you're all hanging in there and doing well. Today I'm out of my home because a lot of us are at home, and I wanted to offer a restorative practice that uses normal things that we have hanging around the house as props. So for those of you who don't have yoga props at home, don't worry about it. We're going to utilize other things that I think every single person has hanging out in their home. So what we'll need, I've got 4 bath towels, and these aren't like the huge ones, although you can use bigger ones. These are kind of like the small to medium size, and I have them folded in fourths and just placed together in the same shape. So they're all actually different kinds of towels, but they're relatively the same size, so that's going to work perfectly. So 4 of those. I have a couple couch pillows, so 2 just regular square couch pillows or something similar that you might have hanging around. And then I have 3 bed pillows. So the longer pillows like this, I've got 3 of those. Okay. Finally, we're going to want either a couch or an ottoman or a love seat or a folding chair or a dining room chair, whatever you've got for a chair. We're going to kick our legs up onto that in a moment. So anything that is like a chair will work for this. I also have my eye pillow and I have a blanket to cover myself up in. That is, of course, optional. All right, so we're going to do 3 poses today, and we're going to keep it around the same 60-minute time frame that we normally would on our Thursday night classes at Bending Bodhi. And let's just hop right on into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, grab our chair or find that couch, and I would encourage you to find a space that is, turn your phone off, tell your household you're going to be gone for an hour or so you can kind of shut out any distractions, hopefully shut a door. Maybe even light some incense or a little room spray, something to create that sacred space, because I know one of the most wonderful things about Bending Bodhi is that it has such a wonderful, inviting, peaceful, grounding space when you walk into that practice room. And sometimes at home we can't find it as easily, but certain times you have to just make do with what you've got. So I encourage you to take a moment to do that for yourself and find that space and create maybe just a little ceremony around that. All right, so couch, chair, whatever you've got. We're going to do Stonehenge. So if you know what Stonehenge is, it's usually we use a bolster and 2 blocks to prop up a little area to kick our feet up and over. We're just going to use, I'm going to use the couch in this instant, and we're going to change it up a little bit. So we're going to actually be elevating our heart and our torsos up a little bit. So legs will be elevated and heart will be elevated. And that will help us so that we're not drifting off into sleep quite so easily, as some of us I know struggle with that during a restorative class. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 3 pillows, our 3 bed pillows, and kind of stagger them a little bit, creating that similar sort of sloping shape that we do when we have our bolster in 2 blocks in class. So we're creating this sloping sort of shape that's going to help us to prop up our upper body, okay? We're going to want to leave enough space in between the chair and the pillows so that we can scooch our hips right on in. We're going to make sure that our blanket and eye pillow are nearby if we want them, so we don't have to go reaching around for them. And then I'm going to have 1 or 2 of the couch pillows nearby just to give a little extra support to the back of my head and neck. You might need that as well. So kind of have a couple of these alongside you just in case. And then as we have this, I'm going to go ahead and set our timer. We're not going to be here for more than 10 to 12 minutes. And what I'd like you to do is just scoot yourself right on in between the pillows and the couch or the chair, whatever you have. And as always, you want to make sure that your hips are right up against that pillow support. And then slowly walk yourself on down. You can see that it's keeping my heart elevated. And you can see now that as I let my head fall back,
my nose is straight up towards the ceiling and my chin is way up towards the ceiling too. So we want to allow it to be a little bit more tucked, just a smidge towards the heart. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my extra couch pillow and see if that does the trick. And for me, it does. So you go ahead and you play around with that extra pillow yourself, or maybe the support you have works for where your head is already lining up. I'm going to scoot my pillows in a little bit closer. You want to make sure that your knees, of course, are bent and that you have a nice angle between your torso and your legs, that you're not so far away from the couch that your legs are actually out straight. Okay, you want a nice angle here, and of course an angle at your knees. Really kind of give your legs a little bit, but make sure they're relaxing through the hips. Okay, maybe shake your hips a little bit and just tune in. You want to make sure that you're swallowing and breathing easy through the head support, and just a gentle tuck into the chin here. All right, from here, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab my eye pillow, grab my blanket. I'm going to scoot my feet, going to bring those knees into the chest to hook those feet in and try to allow that blanket to come on down. And as we settle on into our first pose, let's just take some cleansing breaths. So a nice deep full inhale in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Again, inhaling and exhaling. One more time, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And I'm going to be bringing you out in just about 10 minutes or so. slowly beginning to deepen through your inhales and exhales. And allowing that breath to inspire small movements when you're ready to make them in your own time, in your own way. Slowly awakening. And just allowing yourself to stay with that new energy, maybe that new clarity that's in your mind at this moment. Just lingering here in that sensation and that presence. You might eventually draw the knees into the chest or stretch the arms up overhead, anything that feels good. But we'll all eventually roll onto our right side, and don't worry about what props are in the way or what flies out from underneath you, just allowing yourself to take pause on your side just for a few breaths, helping that energy to ground and just helping us to come slowly out of our first pose. And when you're ready, we'll plant a hand in front of the face to slowly sit ourselves on up. And we'll just find a comfortable seat just for a moment, just to be with our breath. And again, just continue to allow the energy that we created to ground us. And just to linger here for a moment more. Slowly allowing the eyes to open if you closed them. And we'll go ahead and get started in our second pose. So our second pose is going to be our supported butterfly pose or Supta Baddha Konasana, and we're going to do the similar slope with our pillows, our similar little pseudo bolster slope, right? And so we're going to arrange them. I'll show you the side angle again, just as a refresher, kind of like a little stair step. So they're creating a little bit of an angle for us to lie down upon. Okay, so similar to what we would do with that bolster. So one of it's flat, one a little bit further down from there, and then we've got the top one. So we have some uplift through the heart. So I'm going to scoot mine this way. And I most likely am going to need that couch pillow again for a little head support for the back of my head and neck. Okay. Now, as a reminder here, restorative is never asking us to stretch the muscles. We're not looking for deep sensations in our physical body. In fact, we're trying to find calmness and stillness and the most relaxation through our physical body so that we can turn inward to find a little bit more quietude in our minds. So it's really important here, because we're opening up through the inner thighs and the outer hips, that we give ourselves a lot of support, even more support underneath the hips than maybe we think we need. Because remember, we'll be here for a good 15 minutes and gravity takes over and helps us to stretch those legs down. So we don't want to get a deep sensation anywhere in here through the hips. So go more than you might think you need. I'm going to go with our bath towels, and I'm going to unfold one and then a second. So I have two long rectangular towels here, and then I'm just going to roll them into a cylinder like so. So it's a pretty nice little roll here. I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together, draw them in just a little bit. If it's too much even to draw your feet in, that's okay. Push them out, let them be a longer sort of bend. It's not a big deal. And then I'm going to scoot that roll right underneath my hips, so I'm getting some support there. I'm going to do the same thing with my other two blankets. So opening them once, so we have a nice long rectangular shape, and then we're going to roll.
and then I'm going to put that one underneath my other hip. So for me, this feels like a nice amount of support. If you want more, you can add pillows, you can add more blankets to get your knees to lift even more so, but usually this is a pretty good middle of the road support for most folks' hips. Okay, so from here I'm going to make sure that that first pillow is right up against the back, the small of my back, or my hips rather, right up against the sit bones. I'm going to take my blanket, gotta get all nice and cozy in here, find my eye pillow, and then slowly walk my way on back to our little pillow slope. Again, find that final head support with the couch pillow if you're using it. And we're looking for that gentle chin tuck down towards the chest. And let's just kind of do a body scan here, shake out any of the sort of things that still need movement, still need to shift around. Maybe you need to scoot your towel rolls up or down or closer into your hips or further out. Maybe you need to shift your hips, roll your shoulders, play around if your hands want to rest on your belly, or if you want more of a heart opener, let your arms rest out wide to the side, perhaps with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. Maybe gently rock your head from side to side, just kind of getting all the movements out of your body now that you can in the beginning, so that you can fully find stillness and quiet through the body as we relax on in. And as we begin our second pose, I'll offer you, of course, the breath is always that thread to hold on to as your mind wanders, and it will. It's okay just to honor whatever thoughts are going to come and go in and out of your mind. Notice what they are, and then just let them go, coming back to your breath awareness, or perhaps a mantra. And the mantra I'll offer you today is So Hum. And it just means I am. It's one of my favorites. And as I inhale, in my mind's eye, I'll say so. And as I exhale, hum. So hum. Inhaling and exhaling. So it threads the breath with the mantra and gives our mind something to hold on to, something to latch onto as we notice the thoughts that come and go. All right, we're going to be here for another 12 minutes or so. So just allowing yourself to find your rhythm, your cycle of inviting quietude into your mind, honoring whatever comes and goes, and being gentle with yourself, knowing that this is the process, this is the hard work of restorative yoga. And I'll bring you out in a little bit.
Slowly beginning to draw your awareness back to your breath. Allowing deeper and fuller inhales and exhales to awaken your body. Making no hurried movements, starting with slow, intentional movements. Wiggling fingers and toes, just doing anything, just gently awakening. Letting the breath guide your way. Perhaps drawing your legs together and then extending them straight. Just doing what feels good in your body. And eventually we'll all meet rolling off to our right side again. And that can be on top of the pillows or right onto the floor. Whatever feels best for you. And then going ahead and slowly pressing yourself on up and just taking a moment in a comfortable seat just to take a few inhales and exhales. And we'll go ahead and we'll get set up for our third and final pose, which will be our longest hold. So if you don't have a couch to work with, we're going to go ahead and find a wall space because we're going to want something to lie up against. Okay, so we're going to do the ending pose will be our side lying pose. And whether you're at a wall or couch, we'll go ahead and we're going to line up 2 of our bed pillows against that wall or couch just to create a little cushion. And then we're going to find those bath towels again, and we'll unroll them from their little cylinders and we'll just fold them back into their little square forms. So 4 of them total, and we'll just stack them evenly. And this is going to be for our head and neck support. And of course we all have different needs when it comes to what feels most supportive for our head and neck. But I'm going to show you what we're looking for specifically. All right, so these are the entire stack of 4, okay? And as I come down to lying, we're going to want to look to make sure that my neck stays long, okay? And straight, like a nice straight line. So as I come down, you can see here that there's a little bit of an upward slope in my neck. So it's kind of getting cranked up a bit. That means it's too much for me, too much for my neck support. So I'm going to remove 1 layer and then try again. So now this feels much more comfortable for me, and you can see my neck is nice and flat, and you can feel that on yourself as well. Now if I were to remove another pillow or another towel, you can see now that my neck is drooping down, it's sloping downwards. That means I'm not getting enough support. So you want that happy medium where you can find that nice length and extension, but also feel supported and comfortable in your own body. Okay, so that's what we're going for within our bath towels. So once you have that figured out, we're going to just bring it right in front of that first cushion. Okay, we're going to be lying on our left side as we come on down. So just keeping that in mind. Actually, we're going to hold on to this last, well, you might be using all four. So if you are using all four, you can maybe grab something else to pad your hips. But if you have bonier or just more sensitive hip bones, you might want to add a little extra padding for where your hips are going to land when you come down to side lying, which is what I'm going to do right here. So just take a little extra padding right across. I'm going to leave the couch pillows nearby. I'll show you what we might do with those in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and set our timer as we're moving into this final pose here. Okay, so as we come on to side lying, we're going to take our third bed pillow and put it in between our knees and our ankles. Okay, so we're bending right in, putting them right in between. Okay, so it looks like this. So you have no contact between bone and bone, between ankle and knee. Okay, so it's just a nice little cushion, a little support. Have that blanket nearby and that eye pillow nearby. And we're going to go ahead and come on down. So as we find our side lying position, making sure that your hip has found that cushion if you're using it, we're going to imagine we're doing thread the needle pose, and we're sweeping that arm, that left arm, down and out as our head comes on to our head and neck support. Okay, now you'll want to start to scoot yourself back. See, my head and my backside is not touching the pillow wall that I've created, so we want that to happen. We want to scoot ourselves back so that we feel a nice support behind us. Okay, and you might want to bring those blankets, those towels back with you as well. But just taking a moment here to really press back, feel the support behind you. Your extended arm might feel better, bent at a 90 degrees, and maybe resting on that head support, or maybe it wants to stay extended. Another option is to take one or both of those couch pillows and just allow yourself to hug it in to your body. Now this arm, we don't want the shoulders to roll down really deeply like this, like maybe this is how we might normally sleep. Go ahead and rock that shoulder so that one shoulder is on top of the other, and then maybe just allow that arm to rest down. Try that first. If this is not comfortable, then go ahead and take either one or both of those couch pillows just to hug in and let yourself rest upon. And the more height, the easier it is to not let that top shoulder roll over. So just testing that out. Again, this arm underneath can bend and rest or stay extended, just playing around with how that feels. And then, of course, finally, we'll go ahead and find, oops, I've got to get up because my blanket is a little too far away from me. And cover yourself on up, making sure you do take the time to work out any kinks or sort of irritations you're feeling in your body that don't feel quite right. It's always worth your while, because we'll be here for another 20 minutes or so. Okay, and just take a couple deep breaths as you're settling on into this. And sending your exhales into those parts of your body that maybe are a little bit resistant or hesitant to soften and relax. Once more, holding the intention to find those pockets of quiet, of stillness in between the thoughts that will come and go, honoring whatever swirls around in your mind, and letting them know that they can press pause, they can go away for a little bit, and that you'll come back to them later after you're done this practice. Coming back to your breath, coming back perhaps to so hum, whatever feels best for you.
as we continue to settle into our final pose. All right, and I'll bring you out in just a bit. Beginning to deepen through your inhales and exhales once again. Allowing this transition, this awakening, to be slow and intentional. Just noticing the state of your mind, the flow of your breath. And then beginning to invite small movements as you feel ready. Sometimes in restorative, in between poses, we'll feel a little floaty or just kind of this new energy that is born from this work. And so allowing yourself to notice it and to linger in it, just slowly awakening from it, but enjoying this presence. Taking at least 3 or 4 more deep, full inhales as you continue to deepen your physical movements in your own way, at your own time. And we'll eventually all meet at a comfortable seat. And I'd like to end our practice with a little bit of pranayama work. So if you'd like to grab a pillow to sit upon, just to allow yourself to get a little bit more lift through the hips and drop through the knees and legs, go ahead and find that and just arrive in whatever seat is most comfortable for you. A couple shoulder rolls back and down. Uplifting through the heart, through the top of the head. And I'm going to invite you to join me in Nadi Shodhana, the alternate nostril breath. And for those of you who might be experiencing a little stuffiness right now in the nose, that's okay. You can just go ahead and follow along with normal inhales and exhales if it's uncomfortable for you to flip back and forth between nostrils. For those of you who are able, we're going to go ahead and take the most simple hand placement here. So taking your dominant hand, we'll put middle finger and ring finger together and then have thumb available. Pinky and pointer can just kind of press away from the other two. And we'll go ahead and take a nice deep inhale and exhale. And then we'll close off the left nostril with our middle and ring finger and take an inhale through the right nostril. Closing off the right nostril with the thumb to exhale out through the left. Inhaling through the left. Closing off the left to exhale through the right. Inhaling through the right. Using the thumb to close off right to exhale left. Inhaling left. Closing off left to exhale right. Inhaling right. Exhaling left. Inhaling left. Exhaling right. Following your own pace, your own rhythm and flow for about 5 more rounds. of your own breath here. Trying to remain uplifted through the heart, the spine. Gentle awareness in the belly, drawing in and up. Once you finish your 5th round, you can let both palms rest in the lap. Allow the eyes to remain closed or lowered and just return to your natural rhythm and flow of breath. Nadi Shodhana allows us to find more clarity through both sides of our brain, more oxygen to both sides of our brain, bringing more groundedness and peacefulness to our bodies and minds. Let's draw the palms together in front of the heart at Anjali Mudra, gently pressing those thumbs in and up towards the sternum. Once more relaxing the shoulders down, finding length all the way up through the crown of our head. And we'll take one more deep full inhale and exhale here together. Go ahead and drop our chins down towards our heart, holding gratitude for this practice that we can share together even in different places through the magic of the interweb, the internet, and our dedication to this practice of yoga and self-care and community. Allowing the eyes to flutter open, gaze to lift. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste, everyone. Hang in there. Hope to see you again soon.